Comedy Improv Show. Now, I know a lot of you will have seen the show before, but I also know that a lot of you won't, and also there's cameras here, so we kind of have to do this. Let's explain what this show is about. Here's the way it works. We're going to be doing sketches, but we make them all up on the spot. Each scene has rules. The rules make it more difficult for us to make it up as we're going along, because the rules are like restrictions on us. Every time we're doing something, we have to do it a certain way, and we'll explain those things to you as we're going along. So basically, we will ask you for suggestions, and then we will make something up based on your suggestions. So before we start, I just want to test you out to make sure that you're all willing to throw in some ideas. Don't forget, your ideas can be anything at all, right? It's up to us to make it up. So it can be brilliant, but it can also be perfectly normal. It can be bizarre. It can be whatever you want, okay? So I'm going to ask you a couple of quick questions now. So say whatever comes into your head. Name an object that you might find in your fridge.
Sausage.
Cheese. Butter, yes.
Milk.
Milk.
Broccoli.
Carrots.
Broccoli. Carrots.
Sausage.
Sausage.
Mice.
Don't laugh at sausage. Actually, do laugh at sausage. By all means, sausage.
Mice.
Mice, absolutely. Mice in a sausage? Human head.
Yes.
Human head.
Huddersfield.
Name an object that you might find in the office.
Pineapple.
Pineapple.
Wanker.
On the one hand, seems unusual, but on the other hand, you know, you could find pineapple in your office if you happen to like pineapples or you work for Del Monte. Another one, what was that?
Wankers.
Wanker.
Wankers. Any wankers in your office? If you work for the bank? Huh? Anybody? Name a place in the world you might go on holiday.
Cork.
Cork. County. Anyone else?
Roundy Bar.
The Roundy Bar. My God, are people that fucking poor these days? Places we go on holiday. Cork. The Roundy Bar. Over there. I said, what? Over there. Oh God, this is terrible. In my own head. We'll all have to go to one of these places where we get our memories implanted. We can't afford real holidays anymore. Okay, we'll be asking you for suggestions all the way through the show. Just make sure you say anything. You don't have to put up your hands, you don't have to wait, and do say something. Because if you don't, you'll regret it. You'll be walking home later on in the night saying to yourself, I had a brilliant idea and I never said it. Why? So do shout out your suggestions, please. We're going to start off, get ourselves warmed up now with a game that we call Die, Die, Die. This takes a lot of your participation, people. We're going to be telling a story. Each one of the participants is going to be making up the story as they go along. I'm going to be directing the story, and every time I point at a different person, they're going to have to take up the story from where the last person left off. If anybody makes a mistake, you have to shout, die, 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 and that person will be knocked out. And they will replace me, and I'll jump in and be one of the storytellers, okay? So we'll see how many points people can clock up. The idea is to try not to get killed, all right? But the idea for you is to be very, very strict. So a mistake is if I change from one person to the next and the next person doesn't jump in immediately. Now, even if it's in the middle of a sentence, even if it's in the middle of a word, they have to start talking immediately. If they don't, you've got to shout, die, 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 right? If they stumble or say, or pause, even if it's meant to be a dramatic pause, you've got to shout, die, 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 and get rid of them. Anything like that. Now, we're very good at this game, so be strict. What I want to do is I want to make sure that you're not too embarrassed to shout, so I'm going to get you all to just shout, die, die, die.
Die, die, die,
Fine. Just 3 times is okay. So, I'm going to count to 3. And then on 3, everybody shout, okay? 1, 2, 3. Die! 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 Fabulous! Absolutely brilliant. God, you're like great. We didn't rent these people, did we? Fantastic. It's like you rehearsed it. So, can I get the participants up here? And I'm going to ask you for your first suggestion of the evening. Very important. What is the title of tonight's story going to be? Or what is the story going to be about?
Jimmy's favorite spoon.
Jimmy's favorite spoon.
I
Okay.
heard she was lovely.
What?
I heard she was lovely.
I heard she was lovely.
And then it all went black.
And then it all went black. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to give the choice to you. We've got 3 suggestions for 3 story titles. I want you to say, way, the loudest for the one you like the most. Jimmy's favorite spoon? Way! I heard she was lovely. And then it all went black? Yay! Not too bad, but enthusiasm level, I think Jimmy's favourite spoon wins it. Yay! Jimmy's favourite spoon! You haven't heard the story yet, it might be shit. So, Jimmy's favourite spoon. Don't forget to shout die 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 if anybody makes a mistake. Chapter 1.
The porridge was lumpy. He had tried using a fork, but it was not working. It wasn't solid enough. So he rubbed around inside the cutlery drawer.
And he found a knife. He tried to cut through the porridge, but it wouldn't cut through. It just went straight down into the bottom of the bowl.
Down at the bottom of the bowl was another world. It was a door to a universe that Jimmy had always dreamt of.
But he couldn't leave behind his spoon. So he reached out of the bowl of porridge
And grabbed the spoon, just as he was being sucked into that.
vortex of the other world.
He went down a wormhole, around and around. It was like Trabolgan back in the day.
He loved Trabolgan, those big waves and that spray that came out and...
The top of the things, because it was such a beautiful resort. Then it got taken over by corporate people. Ugh.
Now it's filthy and grimy and...
Stinky. But Jimmy thought of the good times, and he landed out of the spout of the end of the vortex to a place
called...
Jamaica.
It was a beautiful place. The sand was lovely. The
People were gorgeous.
blue skies were
Ever so tasty.
Oh, only one person shouted, but that's all it takes.
Okay, chapter 2.
Jimmy was enjoying his time in Jamaica. He'd been here for 2 months.
No, and he'd smoked a lot of spliffs. And he found people were...
very better when they had splits in it. Chapter 4.
He had enough of split. All he could see was this fog in front of him from the day
Of his birth.
to the day. Goodness sake, I forgot. Chapter 4.
Jimmy
Was walking down the
path. He saw the
biggest wave he'd ever seen. It was so huge.
that it was going to break over his head and destroy him. He started running away from it, but he was really stoned and he wasn't...
Thinking straight, so he started running towards the wave. With his spoon! Because he was going to dig
under the wave and try and get back up the vortex hole and back.
into his bowl of porridge. Hadn't he thought this
True, but he was chuckling away to himself.
And with that, his mobile phone went off.
It was his mother saying, "What are you doing? You're late for work. Your boss,
is going to kill you?
he just rang the house.
And he said he's going to
Kill you!"
very badly. Next chapter.
That was when Jimmy realized he hadn't gone through any vortex. He just got really, really stoned and fell asleep.
On his bed and didn't wake up in time to go for work. So, next chapter. The last chapter in Jimmy and the spoon.
Jimmy picked up his favorite spoon and said, "I won't forget this day.
For as long as I live.
It is the best day of my
Life."
So far, anyway.
that I've slipped through. So what I will do is I will take
This spoon, and I'll show it
To everyone
that I meet.
that comes in my final
Epilogue
And the moral of the story
is, when you have a silver spoon,
You should never rub it with a genie.
for it The second moral of the story.
When you have a wooden spoon,
And you're eating a bowl of porridge,
you shouldn't get really, really
stoned,
because you'll end up
having a terrible day
in Jamaica.
North to south, NG, running on. Bravado, as if to say, as if to say, as if to say, he doesn't like chocolate. He's rolling out, don't die. Some things will never be.
It was very good crack. I enjoyed it a lot. They used some of my suggestions. Had a great night. Really good fun. Hilarious. I'll definitely come back again.
Very funny. Thought my head was going to fall off from laughing. and my cheeks are sore as well, and she gets snorted. Yeah, it was very good. Coming again. Yeah. Oh yeah, definitely. It's well worth €5.
Enjoyed tonight immensely, haven't laughed this hard in ages. Love the Snatch Gang, coming back to them again and again, over and over again, telling everyone, loved it.
I'm still recovering from my face hurting so much from laughing, to be honest with you. The best thing I've seen in a good while, and I'd recommend it highly to everyone.